Welcome back to Greenhouse. I'm Tony DeCopo. Let's talk about sharks. This month, the movie Jaws will be returning to 500 big screens, marking the 40th anniversary of the film's big splash in 1975. The Steven Spielberg debut may have created a summer blockbuster, but it also vilified sharks, turning them into something we should all fear. Cold-blooded killing machines, just waiting for us to tiptoe into the water. These days, sharks are in steep decline. More than 100 million a year are said to be killed by industrial fishing operations, and at that rate, a third of all sharks are threatened with extinction, including, some fear, the great white species that starred in Jaws. That is something we should mourn, not celebrate. But you don't have to listen to me. The original author of Jaws, Peter Benchley, later said that he regretted the way he portrayed sharks in his book. The greatest misconception about sharks, he said, is the theory that sharks target humans, that they are man-eaters. Nothing could be further from the truth. He became a prominent conservationist. And NBC's Kerry Sanders recently sat down with a shark attack survivor who had a similar change of heart about the fish that almost killed him. Take a listen.
On August the 13th, 2006, during a routine life-saving training exercise, myself, my brother, and my friend, we were in the water. At that point, I'm busy looking out towards the ocean, and I'm looking at my brother, when something catches the corner of my eye coming from my right-hand side. And I eventually just glanced over to see what it was, and that's when I saw this massive fin just riding on top of the water. Moving towards my brother. I just started drumming on top of the water to try and make a big splash to try and draw the shark's attention away from my brother. Next thing I know, I just saw this massive fin just turn and started coming towards me. Next thing I know, the shark lunges forward, and then that's when I saw that half my leg was in the shark's mouth already. That's when the shark pulled me underneath the water and dragged me for about 70 meters towards Seal Island. So I started hitting the shark with this, on the side of its head with my hands as much as I could. To be honest, it was like hitting a tank covered in sandpaper. The skin of my knuckles just peeled off like you were peeling a banana. Next thing I know, I took my left leg, which was my free leg, and I started kicking the shark on the side of its head to try and free my right leg. And with every kick I gave, I could feel myself moving further and further away from the shark. With one final kick, the shark kind of shook me again, and I could hear this crackling sound. And eventually, boom, that's when my shin bone just broke into two pieces. I woke up in the intensive care unit with my brother standing next to me, and he was crying, and he said, like, thank you for saving my life. I know what you did. And I said, you know what? That's not what's important. What's important is that we're both alive today and we're speaking to each other. And he says, yeah, but you kind of didn't come out so great. And I looked at him and I said, what do you mean I didn't come out so great? And he said, have a look underneath the blanket. And that's when I lifted up the covers and I saw that half my leg was missing. Who better to speak for sharks than shark attack survivors? When I saw it for the first time, that they cut off the shark's fins and they just throw it back into the ocean while it's still alive. When I saw that, it really touched me. And I thought, you know what? Someone needs to speak up for these sharks. And that's when I've sort of grown in the Pew Charitable Trust Group as more than just a shark advocate, but a shark spokesperson.
Wow, that's an unbelievable interview. If somebody who kicked his leg out of a shark's mouth can become a friend of these animals, then I think we can all do a better job.